All praises goes to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, Bashem Al Kodash. Yahweh is the name of the one true living God, the God of my ancestors, the God of so-called black people, the so-called Native American, the indigenous people of North, Central, and South America. Whether you like to believe it or not, we have a God that deals with time. He's very patient and long-suffering, which is why he hasn't executed true judgment for us in the lands that we've been scattered to. But he will in due time. Yahweh Shai is the name of the one who the whole world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, who is a so-called black man according to the KJV Bible. I give double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth for the spirit and inspiration of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. And I salute all the brothers and believing sisters that's out there in sincerity and in continual diligence. And do this video to talk about, the lowly, because it was just on my mind for the past 2 days, and I said to myself, I'll make a little video about it. Hopefully, it won't be too long. But I just wanted to go into how, the various other issues make you lowly. Sicknesses, the pressures in life. It makes you lowly. The Most High can afflict you to bring you to this truth, to ready you, to prepare you for the receiving of this truth. Okay. This is Job chapter 1. Chapter 2, verse 4. And Satan answered Yahweh and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man have will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of Yahweh, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And he took a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Right? So, part of growing up, the sickness that I had, I still have it today, but it's not as bad as it was growing up, was severe eczema. Severe eczema. Growing up, I had it ever since I can remember. It's caused parts of my skin like this to lose my melanin at the elbows, at the back of my knees. Okay, some people look at it and think that's a vitiligo. It's not vitiligo. It's just my eczema was that bad that I don't even know how it got there. I've had this ever since I can remember, but I know it's got something to do with my eczema and that how bad it was. I've got it on my feet, got the back of my knees, at the back of my legs, at the joints. I have it, and I had it bad, man. I had it bad. Growing up, even when I was in primary school, certain people didn't even want to hang around me too tough because they think that they contract something by hanging around me. You know what I'm saying? So, I got used to it growing up, and it took away my confidence. It really did take away my confidence. I had it bad on my forehead, around my neck. I can actually show you on my photo album what I looked like when I was younger. I looked like an old man in my 11, 10 years old. I looked like an old man, man. My forehead was all cringe. You could tell I was suffering. All right. And, in secondary school, when I saw a lot of the boys getting with the girls, I heard this guy, you have sex with this girl and everything like that. I was just hearing these stories and I couldn't really relate because I didn't have enough confidence to even really, deal with a woman like that, because I was so insecure about what I looked like. I'd always cover up my body, my arms, I'd cover up my legs, even in summertime. Summertime, I was too insecure to even wear a t-shirt, man. I didn't even like to look at myself too tough. You know what I'm saying? So, so I got used to the sicknesses, but I know and believe that the Most High afflicted me like that in order to prepare me for this truth, for the receiving of this knowledge. And the Lord will do that to you. He can do that to you. Those of you brothers, you have sicknesses in the flesh or internally or externally. The Most High has smote you, okay, in order to bring you to the truth. Now, that's not me saying that everybody who has a sickness, the Most High gave you the sickness in order to bring you to the truth. Because there's people that have all kind of crazy sicknesses and they're blasphemers. Here is the Most High smote them, and they haven't humbled down. But there is a remnant. The Most High can do that. The Most High can give you a thorn in your flesh, and to suffice you, to bring you to the truth. The Lord, that's how the Lord will reel you in, to make you lowly, to humble you, to separate you from the world. Okay, to separate you from the company of the world. Okay, to make you be alone. Okay, for you to sit in silence, to think on yourself, to think on people, to develop hatred for the world, man. The same world that cast you out, the same world that denied you, the same world that forsook you because of your sicknesses. Okay. So let me just read this again. Job 2:7. So went Satan forth from the presence of Yahweh and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. Right. So this is Satan, man. Satan afflicted you. Satan is on you. Okay. Right. Giving you pain, grief, making you low, man. Feel low. That's a demon, but you could pray and ask the Most High to remove that demon. He could do that, but a lot of the time the Most High could make that demon stay on you, right? To keep you in the truth, to keep you lowly, to keep you leveled, man. Do you understand? Like what happened to me. I remember a time where I was preaching the word. I was sick, man. And the brother with the eye patch, he can tell you, you know, about how I looked. I looked pale. My melanin wasn't even there, you know. And even the way I look right now, I technically I should be darker, because what happened was, because my skin was so bad and so itchy at one point, that I put vapor rub, this kind of ointment. It's called vapor rub. I put it on my flesh, and it literally burned my skin off. I thought it would be helping me, like, to soothe my skin, but it wound up burning my flesh off my meat, off my bones. And then I phoned the hospital. The hospital came. I got hospitalized for a week. They gave me antibiotics, and it healed, regenerated my skin back. And obviously I came back a lot lighter, because the vapor rub burned my skin off. And I was in the hospital. At that point, I wanted to die, man, because my skin looked raw. Okay, you could literally see the meat, and my skin was on the other side of the room. It was all piled up in the other side of the room, and I looked at my skin, and it was all piled up because I used a broom to mop my skin up, and it was on the other side of the room. And at that point, I wanted to die. Actually, I remember saying to the nurse that I wanted to die, man. You know what I mean? Because that's how low I felt. You see what I mean? So the Most High can really afflict you, man. And but it's a thing that is a cross that you got to carry. And I'm talking to those you brothers that you do have sicknesses to whatever degree, some worse than others. That's the Most High afflicting you, and it separates you from the company of the world, because this world is all about outward appearance, vanity. you know. And when you're sick, it really takes away your vanity. It takes away your pride. It takes away that pride, okay, that the average person naturally has growing up. It really takes that away from you. It makes you realize that you're nothing. Well, it should do. I've come across guys that have sicknesses and they're still proud, man. They still haven't acknowledged that the fact that the reason why you have that disability is because the Most High is trying to humble you, and you haven't acknowledged that. I've come across guys who I've literally worked with in the truth, and they have a literal disability. Obviously, I'm not going to name names, but at the time, I'm thinking, what haven't you ever considered that the reason why the Most High gave you this ailment is maybe because you were very prideful in your previous life, but you're still acting proud now, so you haven't really learned anything, But what's that? This is so excuse me. This is Lamentations, chapter 3, um, chapter 3, verse 25. Yahweh is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of Yahweh. So we hope for the saving of our souls, for the for the healing that come with Yahweh Shai's wings. You know what I'm saying? When the chariots come, it's actually been said in the scriptures that he come with the healing in his wings. So, certain brothers got sicknesses to the point where it's like we feel like we got no other choice, man, but to trust that someone up there will heal us. You know what I mean? Because it's a grievous burden to walk through life with a sickness that is damn near impossible to cure. Doctors, physicians, no one can give you the ultimate. They can give you maybe little ointments or little so forths and so on to try and ease your suffering, but no one can heal it. You know what I'm saying? So as Israelites, we have a natural belief in God himself. So we trust that what it says, how is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of Yahweh. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. Okay, in his youth, bear the yoke in his youth, right? I'm gonna look up the word yoke. Um, come up, blue letter Bible. Right. So this is what's it? Lamentations. 3 27. Right. Right. It's good that a man. Oh shit. Wrong one. Bear the yoke. Let's look at the word yoke. That's what it says. This yoke. A yoke as imposed on the neck, literally or figuratively. All right. More a yoke, a curved piece of wood fastened to the pole or beam, laid upon the neck of beasts for drawing, mostly used figuratively of servitude, calamity. That's it. Hmm. Let me look it up on right, yoke. Right. Um how can I say it? Okay. What is yoke spiritually? A yoke in the spiritual sense can prevent us from achieving our destiny. Spiritual yoke has a strong hold on the progress of our lives. Right. So a yoke this yoke or your sicknesses or this truth can is has a stronghold on the progress of your life, man. It stops you from achieving. It stops you from being a part of the world, man. That's what a sickness can do to you. It can hold you down. It restrains you. It's like a yoke, a burden. Okay. What does yoke symbolize? Symbolism. The yoke has connotations of some subservience and toiling. In some ancient cultures, it was traditional to force a vanquished enemy to pass beneath a symbolic yoke of spears or swords. The yoke is frequently used metaphorically in the Bible. First in Genesis regarding Esau. Yeah, you would break a yoke off his neck. Yeah, I know that one. That's the blessing that I believe Isaac gave unto Esau. Um, Yeah, a yoke is a wooden crosspiece fastened over the necks of two animals and attached to a plow or cart. A yoke allows two animals to share a load and pull together, right? Hold on, let me get this. Yokes were used in Bible times primarily with bulls or oxen to plow fields and pull wagons. The animals yoked together needed to be close in size and weight for the cart or plow to pull evenly. Okay, in the Bible, the yoke is sometimes referenced metaphorically to describe the weight of a task or obligation. Okay, breaking the yoke often symbolized freedom from oppressors. Yeah, so right, people in Yahushai's day readily understood analogies using a yoke. They knew that Yahushai meant when he said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, for I will give you rest." Right. That's Matthew 11. Matthew 11, verse 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Right. So it says, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden. We're heavy laden because why? We're sick, man. We got we sickness in this present life, and it holds us down. I remember a time where when I was at work, in construction, my sickness was so bad it really made me have lack of energy. I couldn't sleep a lot of the times, okay, because I was mal my nutrition level was bad. The food I was eating was bad. Okay. Couldn't sleep properly, especially during my college years, man. I couldn't sleep properly at all. I'd lose whole nights of sleep. I was jealous of guys that could have proper good night's sleep, man. You know what I'm saying? That could sleep for like 9, 12 hours. I was jealous. I was like, how the hell did they do that, man? You know what I mean? So um, it says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Okay, our rest is what? That our Lord will come back and heal us from these sicknesses. Okay, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart or in mind. That's what the word heart means. And ye shall find rest unto your souls. And you find rest when you come into this stronghold. You find rest. Okay, you find rest. Right. What is it? What the scripture says? Um, Let me for a sec. Um, Hold on, bear with me for a sec. Hold on. Psalms 103 verse 3. Psalms 103 verse 1. Bless Yahweh, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless Yahweh, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases. Okay, that's right. He says he heals us from all our diseases. But is he that gave us these diseases in the first place? You get what I'm saying? Um, what's it? What did it say? It's in it's Corinthians, right? Is this Second Corinthians? Hold on. Yeah. Um, This is 2 Corinthians 12 and 7. And least I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, that there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan. See, the messenger of Satan to buffet me. Going back to Job, what did Satan do? He smote Job with boils. So we know that this thorn in the flesh was a sickness that Paul had. Okay, it says, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me. And it said that it was given to him. So who gave Paul this thorn in the flesh? The Most High, by sending Satan on him to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. See, Paul understood that a sickness can humble you. Everything has to be balanced out. See, the Lord can give you an abundance of faith, an abundance of understanding. Okay, can give you the talent of teaching, of edifying, of inspiring brothers. But then the Lord will have to balance it out by giving you a sickness just to keep you at a level where the Most High, will want you at. Do you understand? That you don't get swelled up in your head. Do you understand? That you don't get taken away and start trusting in your the abundance of your knowledge. You don't get a pride filled, you know. And when you're sick, you have to understand is that there's a forgetfulness of pleasure. I mean, there's a balance in everything. Let me get um this is so it says Ecclesiasticus 11 verse 25. In the day of prosperity there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction there is no more remembrance of prosperity. Do you understand? So when you're being afflicted, um you 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 don't you have no understanding of prosperity because you just been sick the whole time. Like me growing up being sick and everything, I used to be really jealous of people that looked good, and I looked at them and I saw how they take their good health for granted, man. They take their good state of health for complete granted. They don't even think anything of it because they just grown up eating what they want to eat. They can eat what they like, dairy products. They can drink milk, and I couldn't drink none of that, man. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't drink milk, cow's milk, and any things like that. Cheese. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do none of those things because it'll fuck up my immune system. They'll destroy my gut. Then I'll have leaky gut, and then it'll come up. My skin will look bad as hell. And then my skin will be peeling off. The scales on my skin peeling off. It happens to me right now. Even though I look nice now, you brothers, you don't know. You don't know when at home I got eczema bumps. I start bleeding. It starts oozing. You don't know. You don't know my skin on my legs, my thighs. You know what I'm saying? Is a lot better than how it was before, but still, it still gives me grief because I still got to use certain creams to try and keep my skin supple, man. Do you understand? And my back, I got to scrape my back because the eczema on my back and stuff like that. You brothers don't know, you know. But yeah, so let me read that again. It says, in the day of prosperity, Ecclesiasticus 11 and 25, in the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. See, when people are they good health, looking good, they got no idea of what it's like to suffer. So therefore, they develop a thing called pride, man. That pride demon enters on them. Okay? And the Most High, they don't realize that the Most High set them up for destruction. So it's a good thing that the Most High has really afflicted us, so we can learn humility, so we can learn the true beauty of holiness, man. And therefore, the Lord will have to afflict your flesh in order to destroy your pride, man. That false sense of self, in order to level you, to bring you down to earth, man. To make you realize that we ain't shit at the end of the day. What did David said is that all flesh is like grass. I think that was Isaiah, if I'm not mistaken. Isaiah or David, he said that all flesh is as grass. It will withereth away. You start to read it. That's what sicknesses does to you, man. It prevents you from doing certain things. It's a yoke that burdens you. Okay, so it says, in the day of prosperity there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction there is no more remembrance of prosperity, man. Okay, there was times where I was sitting on the edge of my bed, and I was so sick that I felt sorry for myself, man, and I was in tears. I looked at my flesh, and I just knew I was separate from the world. And this was prior to me even being in the truth. I looked at my skin, I looked at my flesh, and sometimes I was scratched so much, right? Because my skin was bad and I didn't want to see it. So I would take a blade, and I would scrape the skin, the dead skin off my flesh. And because I didn't want to look at the complexion of my skin, because it was really bad, man. I didn't want to look at the how my skin or flesh looked, because it was really disfigured. So and it was it just looked bad, man, and it was hard as well. It was very tough. Right now my skin is smooth, but my skin was really tough and you know hard, man. So I would take a blade and scrape that tough skin off, that eczema, and then my flesh was like really raw underneath, and I looked at my skin; it was all over my flesh, so much so that I just realized that a blade ain't what can a blade do? I looked at myself and I felt sorry for myself, man. You know what I'm saying? So you have a forgetfulness of prosperity when you're going through affliction. You have no idea. Some brothers have no idea what prosperity is, because you're since you can remember, Satan the Most High has afflicted you by the spiritual demon Satan. This is Satan, man. Diseases, sicknesses, all right? Um, right, Ecclesiasticus 11, verse 14. Pros- um, Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. Love and the way of good works are from Him. Right. The point is prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. So the Lord will give you adversity. Adversity comes from Him. Adversity meaning um, when things come against you. Okay, right? And the word that's what the word adversary. The word adversary, it comes from the word adversity, and I believe the word Satan means adversary, man. So Satan comes of the Lord. Satan is a servant of the Most High. So and that's why it tells you, go back to 2 Corinthians 12 verse 7, and least I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations that was given to me. There was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me. Adversity. Okay. Least I should be exalted above measure. You see that? So that shows that man is so pride filled that the Most High has to send Satan to humble you, man. That you not go humble yourself by yourself. That you brothers, you probably look at me like I'm inspirational or whatever it is you might think of me. Um, but the Most High had to give me the sickness to humble me. Do you get what I'm saying? I couldn't be humbled by myself. That the Lord had to give me a sickness that even, uh, you know, food. Like if you check up eczema, they will actually tell you that eczema is not even curable. You can't even cure it. You will always be a part of your is it autoimmune disease. It's something that you have inside of you. You know what I'm saying? So you can never actually get rid of it. You can actually use food to try and heal it over, but eczema will always come back. It will always come back to you. You can't exactly heal it. Do you understand? So the Lord had to give me almost like an incurable disease in order to humble me, man. So what's that saying about me? That's saying that I've got to be very prideful. You know what I mean? Um, so let me read on. It says, verse 8, for this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. You know? So you pray, man. You pray that the Lord make this demon depart from you. Or 3 times. Yeah, Paul besought the Lord, Yahweh Shai, that it might depart from him. Okay? And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Right? Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Hamashiach may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses, for Hamashiach's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. You know what I mean? So the Most High had to make a brother weak so he may be strong, man. Because if the Most High can make you weak and you can endure in your weakness, that by default shows your strength, man. It shows how powerful your spirit is. Because the scripture says your spirit helpeth your infirmities, man. It tells you that in Proverbs. So let me read verse 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. So that shows you that the Lord gives you your sicknesses and it will suffice you. You know, meaning deal with it. Go and do the work. So the Lord give you sickness and then he'll say, oh, occupy till I come. You see, the Lord has no respect to a person. That's why you don't have really no excuse for not doing the work. If the Lord give you a sickness, right, and you hear this truth and you believe, the Lord is calling you. The Lord don't care about your sickness. The Lord gave you your sickness, but he's still calling you to come into the stronghold and to do the works of an evangelist, man. Okay, or a prophet or a teacher or whatever it is your portion is within this truth, regardlessly, you've been called, even in your sickness. Okay. This is Luke 14, right? Verse 8, 19. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. Excuse me. So that servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. Right. So the point is in verse 21. Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. Right. So let's get into that. It's a bit raining outside. This is what's it, Luke 14. What we got? 21, right? Oop. Right. So that servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, which is where we the prophets are at. Okay, this is where we prophesy. And bring in hither the poor. Right, look at the word poor. How do you pronounce that?
Strong's G 4434. Tochas. Tochas.
Tokas. That's the Greek way to say it. The word is for poor is reduced to beggary, begging, asking alms, destitute of wealth, influence, position, honor. You see that? Destitute of honor, destitute of position, destitute of influence, destitute of wealth, man. Lowly, afflicted, sicknesses, man. Lowly. So sicknesses make you lowly, man. And when you're sickness, you ain't gonna receive no honor. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna receive the honor and respect of your friends and even family members. Bro, I remember times where even my own cousins bullied me, man, because I was sick, innit? Like I was sick, and I was almost like the black sheep of the like the black, the outsider, or like the kind of the odd one out. That was me. And my older cousins would always like kind of, don't say abuse, but like, pick on me, like treat me like I ain't shit. Kind of, you get what I'm saying? I always get looked at with a certain look, that side eye, like, I'm an abomination kind of. You know what I'm saying? So destitute of wealth, influence, position, honor, lowly afflicted, destitute of the Christian virtues and eternal riches. Okay? Helpless, powerless to accomplish an end. You know what I'm saying? Poor, needy, lacking in anything as respects their spirit. Destitute of wealth of learning and intellectual culture which the schools afford. Men of this class most readily give themselves up to Hamashiach's teaching and prove themselves fitted to lay hold of their heavenly treasure. Jeez. Read that again. Destitute of wealth of learning, right, and intellectual culture, which the schools afford. You know what I'm saying? So they're talking about the low class. Lowly. That's why brothers come in and they sound very unlearned or ignorant or rough. Yeah, because that's them. Men of class most readily give themselves up. Men of this class, men of this class, meaning a low class, right? Most readily give themselves up to Hamashiach's teaching and prove themselves fitted to lay hold of the heavenly treasure. So we readily give, because we ain't got nothing to lose. When you're sick, what you got to lose, man? No one loves you. Or no one. You ain't got much friends. You don't have a lot in this world, because this world only esteems the strong. People of stature. It upholds vanity, and you don't have any of that. When you're sick, or you poor, you broke, right? Right. It says the poor, you're needy, when you're lacking in things. Okay, when you're reduced to beggary, man. Begging, asking alms. Some people, they're so pride-filled that they can't even stop and listen to the prophets because we look lowly. We're out there teaching, prophesying, and we're not about money and clothes and everything like that. We look lowly, wearing these ridiculous looking garments in their eyes. So they can't lower themselves to hear this truth because they don't feel like they need to, because they're full. They've already received their consolation. But usually it's like crazy people and like beggarly looking people approach my camp, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, more times when you see people that approach the camp, usually they got demons on them. They got either demons on them, or they're poor, they're homeless, or they just look destitute, man. They approach because they have more in common with us, man. We have a certain spirit that attracts you. You are who you attract, right? We attract poor, lowly people because we represent. We have that image. We have a low, a destitute spirit, man, and that's what attracts people of a lowly spirit. That's what attracts the elect, man. Okay, so it says reduce the beggary, begging, asking alms, destitute of wealth, right? Because our portion is not in this life. See, if you're doing good in this world, man, you gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful because this world lies in evil. So if you're talking about life is good and you try and living that high life, you might be in trouble, man. You might be in big trouble. The scriptures talk about the poor. The Lord says, bring in hither the poor. Bring in people of this class, of this ilk. Bring in them. Because they're going to appreciate this treasure. They're going to appreciate all the people before. When I'm reading Luke 14, 19, another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen and I go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused. So they didn't value this heavenly treasure. They lightly esteemed it. They had no respect unto it. Why? Because again, this truth, you attract what you are. And obviously these people, they're of the world. They got a different spirit on them. And another said, I have married a wife and therefore I cannot come. So that servant came and showed his Lord all these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bringing hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. Right, so that's that. Do we have anything else on that? So that was the poor. And the maimed. Let me look at the word maimed. The word maimed is
Strong's G 376. Anaperas. Anaperas.
anaperos, right? Which means disabled in the limbs, maimed, crippled, injured in, or bereft of some member of the body. Right? So you got certain guys that you have a visible disability. The brother that I teach with, he's got one eye, man. Do you understand? He would be the maimed. Okay, disabled in the limbs, maimed, crippled. Okay, injured in or bereft of some member of the body. Right? Yeah, that's right, man. That's it. So this is what, and these are the same men that's gonna give all glory, their strength, their power, their faith, their ability, their hope, their you know their courage is of the Lord, man. Because they have no confidence in the flesh, because the Most High has taken away the confidence of their flesh. The Lord has taken away the beauty of their flesh. The Lord has taken away the vanity of their flesh, their pride. The Lord has deprived them of all manner of prosperity and life. And so they can put their trust in something. In this life, you're going to have trust in something, man. You're going to have confidence in something, whether it's your woman, your five oxen, your land, you know what I'm saying, your beauty, your physical appearance, your car. Everybody has faith or confidence in something, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's so the confidence of such men and women is the Lord, man. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. That's going to save us from our condition. If so be, there may be hope, man. So that's that. Hold on, there's more. Isn't finished yet. So it says the poor and the maimed and the halt. What does that mean? Halt. Halt. It says kolos, right?
Strong's G 5560. Cholas.
Kolos.
Cholas.
Right. Again, word it means lame, deprived of a foot, maimed. Okay. So that's that. The halt. So that brother could be the maimed or the halt, the brother that I teach with the eye patch. He says he's deprived of an eye, right? So he would be the halt. Okay? Kolos, apparently a primary word, halt, i.e. limping, cripple, halt, lame, right? Matthew 11:5, the blind receive their sight and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up and the poor have the gospel preached to them. You see that? The poor have the gospel preached to them. So this gospel, this good news, this treasure is given unto the poor because they're going to value it. They're going to value it because they don't have nothing else. So their hope is in the Lord that saveth them from all their infirmities. He healed them from all their diseases. Imagine if somebody came and promised that to you and you were sick your whole life, you spent it in misery and loneliness, and somebody came round and said, you know, the Lord can heal you of all this, you know. And you're going to be like, you're going to want to hear more. How can you escape these infirmities? How can you escape this burden, this yoke? Okay? You're going to want to hear more. You're going to receive it. You're going to trust more in the Most High because you've been sitting alone your whole life because people have cast you out of their company. So you've looked at the world from a certain angle of hatred because the world denied you. You know what I'm saying? The world denied you. You became solitary, solo, a soldier, man. Do you understand? So, Matthew 15 and 30, and great multitudes came unto him, having with them those that were lame, blind, dumb, maimed, and many others, and cast them down at Yahushua's feet, and he healed them. Okay? Now, that was physically back then. But now on a spiritual level, the Lord has healed us, has healed our broken mind, but at the same time, still allowed us to still have that thorn in the flesh and said, my grace is sufficient for you. Meaning you got to carry that cross and deal with it. All right. Matthew 15 and 31. Insomuch that the multitude wondered when they saw the dumb to speak, the maimed to be whole, the lame to walk, and the blind to see. And they glorified the God of Israel. And that's something that's going to come, man. When the Lord heals us, we're going to glorify Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. And we're going to actually thank Him for giving us, because it's a good thing that the Lord gave me this sickness, man, believe it or not. Oh, Lord knows I would hate to go back to this condition how I was before when I was actually really, really sick. But when I think about it, I'm thinking it's a good thing that the Lord gave me the sickness because it strengthened me, man. Sickness can strengthen you. Sickness can bring you low, but then you can deal with it, man. If you deal with it, you know what I'm saying, and it separates you from people, man. It makes you deep. It makes you look at yourself and it humbles you. And you know what I'm saying? It makes you realize shit, man. I've seen people with eczema. I remember one girl, her whole face was raw and like she couldn't deal with it. Like you can see she's almost like she's mentally not right, man. Because her sicknesses really fucked up her confidence, really, really fucked her up, man. Like when you looked at her, she didn't even look human, man. She looked like a damn, almost like a fetus, man. Because it really made her skin raw. Her eyes, her eyelashes were all gone. You know what I'm saying? Her melanin just looked nuts, man. She just looked real nuts out here. And the Lord can give you a sickness like that. But this girl looked crazy. And you gotta know that the Most High can give sicknesses to people like that. It can really deform them. But then again, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Lord gonna bring you into the truth just because He gave you a sickness. The Lord can give you a sickness and just to show other people that, listen, this is what a person looks like to have a sickness like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're of the elect. So I just gotta be thankful that the Lord gave me this sickness and then brought me into this truth at the same time. Okay, so what am I holding this for? All right. Okay. The last one is the maimed, the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. Let's look at the word blind. If we all know what that is. Excuse me. Right, blind.
Strong's G 5185. To floss.
To floss,
To floss.
which means black.
Thayer's lexicon. Related entry. Prasites. Prasites.
Okay, so it means basically blind, mentally blind. Okay, physically or mentally, basically. Okay, that's right. Blind or mentally blind. All right. So and the Lord is calling such men to do the work. Can you imagine that? Come into my house, that my house may be filled. In the middle of verse 21 in Saint Luke chapter 14. Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. Right? And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out to the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. What house are talking about? This tabernacle, this temple, okay? The flock of his pasture, the men that are supposed to feed the other flock. So here it is, you got blind, disabled brothers, blind brothers, brothers that are disfigured, that have sicknesses, that are deprived of wealth, lot of lowly dead man, of a dead nature, man, zombified, man. You know what I'm saying? We're dead in the flesh, we're dead physically, but spirit, we're alive, man. We speak. Physically, we're dead, man. We have nothing to glory of in the flesh because we have the Most High is deprived of us of all manner of necessity, of prosperity. He's deprived of all these things because it is the Lord that giveth prosperity, life and death, but he can also, as he's given, he can also take it away. So the Lord took all of those benefits away from us just so we can trust and rely in the spirit, man, and put our trust in such things, in the heavenly treasures, man. Okay. And the Lord, and that lies in the power, because the Lord, if the Lord gave us a prosperity and at the same time gave us his truth, it would dilute the power of the spirit because we're also trusting in our prosperity at the same time. So the Lord had to cut off all manner of prosperity, confidence in the flesh, so we could devote our fear, our time, and our energies into the spirit, man. So the spirit become more powerful. You understand? So I said, yeah, and verse 23, and the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. So that's what the Lord is looking for. Okay. This is Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 25, because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men, right? Because men think that the prophets are supposed to be these well-to-do, old men that are, well-spoken and, everything like that. And then really the men of the Lord is that's a stumbling stone to the majority of our people. They think that the prophets are not supposed to think sexually. They've got a very ignorant perception of what they think men of God are supposed to look like. And they don't understand that men of God were young. They were young, afflicted men. They were men, even though they were young. You understand? Right. Verse 26, for ye see your calling, brethren. See your calling. So here is you're blind, you're maimed, you're deprived of everything, and you still being called. Brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. Right? Because all these same men, they're the same niggas that are making excuses. Oh, I got land, I got to go see to that. I got a woman, I got to go see to that. Oh, I got oxen, I got to go see to that. Right? They were called, but they were not chosen. Because they were called. This word was preached to them, but they made an excuse. They said, oh, let me have me excused. So their blood is now on them. They received their consolation. So woe unto them, right? Not many noble are called, but the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, because in your weakness, when I am weak, then I am strong. That's what a lot of people don't get. When you're weak, if you can suffer humiliation, because sickness is also humiliation, that also humbles you. If you can deal with the humility, okay, because people think that humility is weakness. They don't understand that there's strength in weakness. It can go hand in hand. There's strength in weakness. You can be weak, and if you can endure that, that's where the strength come in. Okay. See, man don't respect that because this world is all about the outward, but the Most High's thoughts is not their thoughts, because the Lord has a grand purpose. All right, that you be perfect through weakness. So let me read that again. But the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things that are mighty, and base things of the world and things which are despised have the Most High chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are, that no flesh should glory in his presence. Right, so how can we glory in the Most High if we're not strong through ourselves? It's the power of this word that makes us strong. It's his faith, this grace that makes us strong. So we can never say it was us that did it in the end. It was the Most High's grace that pulled us through. It was faith that gave us the strength to carry on, man. That we literally have no confidence in the flesh. Because what does it say in Proverbs, man? Um, Hold on, where is it? Let me find it. There's a confidence, man. Hold on, let me go find it. Uh, yeah, there is Proverbs chapter 14 verse 26. In the fear of Yahweh is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. Okay, let me read that again. In the fear of Yahweh is strong confidence. So that's our confidence, the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, we fear him. We put our trust in him. That's right. So let me go back to 2 Corinthians 12 and 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness, man. You see that? So our strength is not of a fleshly sort. Our strength is a spiritual sort, a mental sort. Okay? That's our strength. That's true power, man. Because what did it say? If all flesh is as grass and it withereth away. So people that trust in have confidence in the flesh, that's not real strength. Because if it was really strong, it wouldn't wither away, would it? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So let me yeah, this is James 1 verse uh 9. Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof faileth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. Exactly, the outward appearance. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Right. So we, even in our weakness, the Lord will test us and try you, man. So the Lord is going to put certain demons in your way, including me. I failed. I failed in temptation. Just the other day, I did an abomination. Still, I'm not gonna lie. It's my second time doing it, but I committed something wrong, man. Real wrong. Brothers don't know I did something wrong. You don't know the demons on me. I got more than one demon on me. But since I haven't been watching no porn, Lord willing, us pray that the Lord make sure I don't go back to that, because that shit is some real witchcraft, man. It can make you, it can influence your, how you operate in the bedroom with a woman, man. I'm telling you. I did shit with a woman that I repented for, and that's my weakness. But in temptation, you got the scripture say what? Let me read that again. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. Endure meaning you gotta have that strength. You gotta have that faith, mental and spiritual strength to endure it and not to give into it. Because we don't glory in the flesh. We don't live after the flesh. We don't have no confidence in the flesh. When you have confidence in the flesh, you give into temptation, man. Because that's what you live for. That's your consolation. That's your comfort, man. Is the world and all its benefits. But when you're sickly of low degree, we got nothing in the flesh to profit of, man. What did Paul say? I count it all dung that I may win Yahweh Shai, man. Because he's the one that brought these things upon us, and he's the one that gonna relieve us of all our diseases, man. Hold on, let me get that. I believe it's in Philippians. This is Philippians chapter 3, Um, verse 7. But what things w- but what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Hamashiach. Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Hamashiach Yahushai Adonai, O my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win Hamashiach. You understand? So things that we've lost in this time, man. So fucking what? The world never respected us anyway, even if we were in prosperity. We're the Israelite man. The Israelite man not respected in this time. This time is a time of evil and wickedness, man. This time is not for us. Our time is to come. When the Lord purged this heavens and earth with fire, man. The spirit and the works therein needs to be purged, utterly consumed with fire, man. That's when the true power of the Israelite man will be put on earth. Right now, no. This time is not for us, it's for the other nations, them, and Esau. But so it says that for whom I have suffered the loss of all things and do count them but dung. That let me read that again. Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Hamashiach Yahushai, my Lord. So all things are lost anyway. Okay? For in exchange for the excellency of this knowledge. So you understand it's a trade-off. We have to give up the vanity of our flesh, the vanity of the world, the our good estate of health. We need to give that up in exchange for the excellency of this knowledge. Just showing you that this knowledge is extremely valuable, that the Lord can't just give this away to you for free. You gotta give up something. You have to trade it, you have to trade something in for it. You can't just be living it good and get the excellency of this knowledge at the same time. Don't work that way. There's a balance. You gotta give up one to receive the other. All right. You gotta give up this world. You gotta give up the prosperity. You gotta give up that. Okay. You gotta deal with the fact that people gonna look down at you. People gonna think you're crazy. Okay. So, the woman that you want not gonna want you because you in this work, man. You're not about receiving benefits of the world. So the woman that you want, the woman that you lust for, is not gonna respect you. Your family members are not gonna respect you because you don't uphold the image of this world. You don't uphold a worldly values, family values. You're not a family man. You're no longer family orientated. You're gospel orientated. You're spiritually orientated now. And this world is becoming more atheist. There's a lot of people becoming atheist. There's one thing people say that they say believe in God and then they don't. They just go after their covetousness. But now people are outwardly saying, I don't believe in God. Israelites, people among our own people. So that's the times we're in. But yeah, the lowly, man. The lowly will give praise. Brothers that are dead in the world, man. Showing you that we don't live after the flesh. This is Psalms 138, verse 6. Though Yahweh be high, yet have he respect unto the lowly, but the proud he knoweth afar off. Okay? The Lord has respect unto the lowly, though he be high, man. See, the Most High is very considerate. Even though the Most High is very wise, man, he's not, even though he's the only entity that has a right to be proud. He says, I am, and there is none else beside me. But yet, the Most High still looks at the lowly with respect. He still respects them. Let me look up that, 'cause that's deep, man. That shows you that the Most High is deep. The Most High is very deep, man. So why would the Most High look upon us, seeing how high He is, man? The word respect means to see, look at, inspect, perceive, consider, to see, perceive, to look at, see, regard, look after, see after, learn about, observe, watch, look upon, look out, find out, look at, give attention to, discern, gaze at. See, the Lord gazes at us, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's deep. That's deep. To cause to look intently at, behold, cause to gaze at. That's deep, man. That's deep. You know, I think Job said, "What is man that thou should even consider him, man?" Let me try and get that. Job chapter 7, verse 17. What is man that thou shouldest magnify him, and that thou shouldest set thine heart upon him, and that thou shouldest visit him every morning and try him every moment? You know, what is man that thou shouldest magnify him, man? So even the Lord be very high, the Lord has respect unto the lowly. You know, he respects something that's completely opposite to him, man. You know, you always are amazed at something that's unlike you. You know what I mean? You ponder it, you consider it because it's the complete opposite of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the class of men that the Most High is dealing with, man. That's what he's attracted to. Let me go back to Lamentations. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 27. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. He sitteth alone and keepeth silence because he hath borne it upon him. He sitteth alone and keepeth silence, man. I remember a time when I was sick, I was alone, man. You're solitary. Okay? Um, is that not Job? But he setteth the solitary in houses. I don't know if it is. Hold on. Uh, it's got to probably be in Jeremiah. Hold on, let me try and let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Yeah, Psalm 68 and 6. Psalm 68 and 6. It's the Psalms chapter 68, um, verse 6. The Most High setteth the solitary in families. He bringeth out those which are bound with chains, but the rebellious dwell in a dry land. Right. Um, the Most High setteth the solitary in families. Because what made me solitary was my sicknesses. That's what separated me from the rest of my cousins. That's what separated me from my the people that I went to school with, man. People just looked at me with kind of disdain because they always saw that I was bleeding, my skin was bleeding. You know, I looked diseased. I looked like the hand of the Most High was upon me. So a lot of people didn't want to really move with me like that, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Certain girls looked at me a certain way because they saw my sicknesses, man. It says, the Most High setteth the solitary in families. Okay? He bringeth out those which are bound with chains. What's the chains? These bodies. See, that's why we as GMS, we always talk about getting them new bodies, man. Because a lot of brothers, there's not even, you might not even have a sickness. You just have insecurities, man. Insecurities are like you don't like your height. You're probably short. You probably don't like what you look like, man. You just don't like your face. You don't like certain features about your body. And you want the Most High to give you a perfect body. Well, the Lord will give you that, man. But you have to trust you have got to trust in him. So it says, right. Back in Lamentations 3 and 28, he sitteth alone and keepeth silence because he hath borne it upon him. He putteth his mouth in the dust, if so be there may be hope. He giveth his cheek to him that smiteth him. He is filled full with reproach. For the Lord will not cast off forever, but though he cause grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. Though he cause grief, man, the Most High causes our sicknesses. But then he will what? Turn around and have compassion. right? Because he had borne it upon him. So again,